There you go. It took me a minute. It took me a minute to get the record button. But here we are, Thursday, first show of the new year, January 2nd. We're talking about 2025 predictions from you, me, Steve Greenfield, Nathan Southwick. And there's also a new generation was born yesterday.
Oh, I saw that.
New generation.
They just decided that they're going to start this year. I don't know how they decided that.
I think it's 14 years. It's not 20. It's not 20 years. I think it's like 14 years. I mean, I guess. 14-year generation. It's like babies having babies. Like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah,
it's like oldest, youngest. I know. But look,
it.
without a doubt, today is the full-on kickoff. The next 3 weeks, the next 4 weeks is going to be all about the NADA show and what dealers are doing, not just at the show, but to prepare themselves for 2025. So we're right back into it. Maybe get a little bit of a pass the next 2 days, because if you're not selling cars, you're still trying to close out your month. Like, we were driving to work today. I said to Miles, I was like, I think we might be the only ones working.
Literally. Everybody's kind of taking that like end of the week trail. What I think is exciting about that is that, like, if you're in a dealership right now, there's a good chance that the majority of your community is still shopping. Large amount is still shopping, is still out there. It's kind of like an extended last week of the year.
It is.
So don't let off the gas.
No, the Wednesday holiday really throws everything for a loop.
Exactly.
For 2 weeks in a row, you know? So, but yeah, I mean, like, that's a great point. Like the mall, it was New Year's though. Like the mall and the movies are crowded. I bet it's going to be the same story today. Story today. But look, coming into the show, the NADA show, NADAparties.com is up and filling up with more parties every day. So you can go to NADAparties.com and check out all the evening activity that's going on. 2 things. If you have a party, go to the site. You can register for free so everyone can find it.
Yes,
right. I mean,
exactly.
If you don't like the site, we'll give you all your money back after you register.
100% of your money.
But also, Asoto is having our first ever after party at NADA. It's actually more like a happy hour. So for the site, we partner with Clairvoy. For the party, we're partnering with some other folks, so you can see everyone we're doing stuff with. I don't want to miss anybody. Right. So that's when I start to dodge. My brain's still New Year's.
You got Clairvoy, Upstart, iPacket, Auto Genius all coming in, throwing down.
I would have missed one of those. I would have missed one of those 4. I knew it. Thank you. And so look, even if tickets are sold out, because some of the ticket types are already sold out, we're going to be out of space in sold out. They're free, but we're going to be out of space. But we did open up a waiting list because we are confirming attendance moving into it. So our first stop party, make sure you get on the waiting list, because we're going to confirm attendance the week before or the week of. And if you don't confirm attendance, we're going to give away your spot. And we're also going to do some lottery. So please get on the wait list if it is sold out. We want to make sure we can see and meet as many people as possible and give you the custom swag and all the other cool things that are going to happen. And you and I haven't been to the venue, but we've heard from people who know it. They're like, "Oh, you got that
That's
place?"
The thing. We know some insiders down there. One of our newer employees, Jean, is down there. She was like, "Oh, this place is unbelievable." So you're not going to want to miss it. If you are on the list, make sure you answer your phone.
Yes. All right. I think that's what we're talking about. We have predictions, right? Everyone's coming out with their predictions.
Let's get into the predictions. We got to do our own. I
feel like we need like a little prediction transition music. We didn't have that. I mean, give us a break. It's the first day of the year. So, all right. So we're gonna drop some predictions here. We have some bonus predictions.
Real quick, before we get into these predictions, we did these completely separately.
We did.
Neither of us knew what was going on, and no alignment was created alongside the number of predictions or the themes of these predictions. You can ask Nathan Southwick. This is the truth about these predictions. Please proceed.
Can confirm. They wrote them completely separate, did not see them, and they are basically the same.
No, I think the funny part about it is they're very similar, but I think they're very nuanced.
They're nuanced. But they're
I think this is actually, you could probably drop this into GPT and you could be like, extrapolate from these what Paul and Kyle's personalities are likely gravitate toward. And it would do a good job of that. All right, here's my first one. I said there's going to be more concerted effort to differentiate businesses. This is both dealers and industry partners, based on the people, individual people, and the personalities of the business overall. So not just features, advantage, benefits. That's always going to be important, but more differentiation for people and personalities within the businesses.
And my nuance to that is that dealers will spend more on in-house creative and social media than they ever have as a percentage of their overall marketing budget. So, and I think where you're right there is like, those are the stories that dealers are going to realize they have to tell more and more through their organic media, through the creative that they're putting out. Because if they don't, then they're just spinning their wheels on things that can be replicated in the market.
Yeah, it's mind share, it's brand equity. I also think like live shopping is going to become a thing in retail auto. It's becoming a major thing in retail in general. And I think the people that jump on, I should have put this in here. I'll put it in my officials if I make them. All right, you start with the next one. Go ahead.
So for me, I said that all American made OEMs will actually strike net new R&D deals for EV technology to try and attempt to compete in the global EV race. I think looking at what like Toyota and Mazda did a few years ago, now Honda and Nissan, and we're seeing manufacturers globally start to partner to compete specifically with Chinese brands, is going to happen on American soil at some level to try and leverage like buying power, R&D resources, all of that.
I like it. I like it. I had one about EVs second as well. I think EV sales strategy and efforts in both new and used cars is no longer going to be just for early adopters. This is the year everyone has a new and used EV strategy that doesn't include just off wholesale everyone we get. That is the strategy right now for some.
It absolutely is.
But that's going to change by the end of this year.
It's going to become more central, especially on the used car, I think. Especially on the used car side.
Absolutely. Yep. All right, here's my next one. AI use in everything from strategy to marketing to analysis is going to skyrocket inside a dealership's regular practice.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. And I think it's going to be more about like the native use of the technologies and not like buying an industry thing.
Yeah, great.
They're going to be natively using like GPT or Gemini or Perplexity or whatever it is to do those things internally, as opposed to like only relying on external resources for that.
That's good. Kyle has a bonus.
So my AI prediction was actually that it will enable true digital finance application approval and recommendations for a more seamless deal flow. I think that's the bottleneck still in so many retail situations. We're going to be able to leverage AI to basically make that a seamless transition, like one-to-one.
It's such an obvious one. If you actually see some of the tech out there that can just be like, oh, yes, no, maybe this one, maybe that one.
Exactly.
Such a practical use for it. All right, we have a bonus.
Here's the bonus
prediction. Which Kyle might have his thumb on the scale.
Someone get the button out because it's coming. Automotive conferences will finally get better coffee. I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen, but fair.
We're trying, but we're really trying.
I'm praying for it.
It's not for lack of trying. Nathan Southwick, you need to come in because you had a couple of predictions. So I think we need to get one from you too, because you get to hang out with as many amazing people in this industry as we do, as you're doing interviews and listening through things. So what do you think's happening?
So as I was thinking about this year, and particularly as I think you saw this a little bit in 2024, but you're really going to see it in 2025. And I think that's going to be at the gap between the forward-thinking dealers and just the rest of the pack is going to grow significantly.
Wow.
And I think here are some markers that you can look for in those groups or stores to identify those people, those forward-thinking ones. And it's going to be a heart for people, right? Something that we preach here at More Than Cars. It's going to be practical AI use, not just like the new fad thing that is in your latest tech product. It's going to be like something that you've actually thought about and you're applying. It's going to be data-driven strategies and metrics. And then there's going to be a big social media lean-in. So I think that's my prediction for 2025.
Yeah, I have a feeling we're thinking a lot of the same ways around here.
I think
probably because of the people we hang with too.
I feel like we hang around some people that are doing these things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Speaking of hanging around people.
Wow, come on.
Okay, I feel like so we did our predictions, or I put mine in wherever they were going to end up in the show notes. And right after, I look at Steve's predictions on LinkedIn, and I felt like the kid who was so proud of his
and you were
his new shoes when he went to school, and then he realized like the other guy had a new outfit, new scooter, new computer, new phone. All right, Steve Greenfield, he is like the futurist. He's plugged in, he's dialed in, he's global, he's thinking about things all the time. He's got 12 cats.
12 cats.
He's got 12 cats.
That's what he really needs.
Released his list for the 2025 predictions, and you just read like the first 2 or 3, and I was like, this guy is swinging for the fence this year. He's predicting huge moves in the OEM space, suggesting that VW will acquire Rivian.
Wow.
GM and Ford will merge to fend off Chinese OEMs, and BYD will acquire Stellantis. Let's just talk about that. Those
a couple things. One, I did not read these before I made my my OEM predictions in the US. So I'm proud to say that number 4, Ford and GM merging. That's a big one. I agree. I don't know if it's a merge, but I think it's something cool. Look, VW already built a Rivian lookalike in Scout. I've been saying this for like months now.
What did you call it? You called it a Riva. I can't remember what you called it last week.
A Lanvian or something like that, or a Riviover. Yeah. I can't remember what I called it. But yeah, it's basically a Land or a Land Cruiser and a Rivian basically combined. So yeah, and then the BYD acquiring Stellantis. Look, Stellantis is struggling. BYD has all the leverage in the global market.
Cash.
And why not acquire something that gives you quick access into
American footprint? And look, that'd be a great network to actually deploy a very low cost EV through. That it's the right book of business. It's right. All right, next group of predictions. M&A activity will be unprecedented. He's like, we're gonna see it like we've never seen before. And here's the shocker. He's like, I think CDK and Reynolds will merge.
Wow.
I was like, oh, that was the first one I read. I was like, I'm not doing predictions anymore.
That's yeah. I mean, the problem is they could try all they want. They will get right into an antitrust lawsuit.
That's what Jim Ganther chimed in the comments. He's like, that's a pretty big hill to climb, but it does make sense. I mean, but hey, I love Steve is like, why am I doing boring predictions? We're doing real ones.
Just go for the swing for the fences, bro.
And one of the other things he labels, he said Amazon expands to 10 OEMs, which you can see that happening.
Yeah.
Right? He talks about a bunch of IPO markets, a bunch of companies going public, Carfax going public, JD Power going public, Solera going public. And he also said Foxconn could be the largest disruptor in the EV space. They purchased a former GM plant.
Yep.
Could they be the next one that's not even on the radar?
Yeah, I wonder if that's the case or whether there's like something in the background around BYD and Foxconn, right? Because they're so integrated into the iPhone making. Yeah. And maybe there's kind of like a sync up there because obviously, BYD is making a lot of the software and the hardware encapsulating the Foxconn chips. So I think that there's maybe something around that. And then what was the other one? Throw it up again.
Foxconn?
No. The Amazon expands to 10 OEMs. I actually think that you're going to see Amazon try and attack the used car listings market quicker than they go to the OEMs, because I think the OEMs, even though it's attractional, it's very, very hard to get all that data synced. And so they'll talk to Hyundai and understand how hard it was, and Amazon will want more leverage from just an overall listing. So they'll go straight to the listings profiles.
Just act like a third-party listing.
Why not? Yep.
We'll see. We'll see about that. I'm dying in here trying not to laugh because of Brian Ortega's comment. Steve with the Trapper Keeper and you guys with the Peachy folder. Like, if you're old enough to know,
what a Trapper Keeper is,
how
much that hurts. That stings, Brian Ortega. That stings.
But it's true. It's true.
So
Speaking of all the young kids,
all the kids,
all the young ones coming into this world.
Hey, as we ring in 2025, meet Generation Beta. It is the lowest cohort born into the world of rapid innovation and automation. These kids will grow up being the first AI native generation. They will be obviously immersed in technologies similar to Gen Z and Gen Alpha. Generation Beta will cover children born from 2025 to 2039 and marks the second generation born entirely in the 21st century. Their parents will be predominantly Gen Z and young millennials. These parents will obviously raise their kids amongst the most advanced technology out there yet. By 2035, Generation Beta is projected to represent 16% of the global population, according to demographer Mark McCrindle, who said these generations will grow up in a world of technological integration.
Okay, so if you're having trouble with your years, which I always do in these generations, learned that it's every 14 years marks a new. So if you were born from 1980 to 1994, you're a millennial.
Yep.
And you are largely going to be the parents of Generation Beta. Right. So that's how that all pans out.
Actually, largely Gen Z, Gen Alpha. Generation Beta will be young millennials. So like
19, yeah.
Like 90 to 94, not 80 to 94. Young millennials.
90. Oh, right. 80.
And then Gen
80
Zers,
is the oldest millennial.
Gen Zers will be like, you think about Gen Z as getting into baby making age at this point.
Yeah, well, let's not talk about that too much. I have a lot of Gen Zers. I have multiple Gen Zers.
He said, young years.
Let me tell you an anecdotal story that happened at around the table last night as I was I'm building this. You'll be proud of me when I show you. Maybe you'll be proud. I want you to be proud of me when I show you.
I'm going to be proud. I'll be proud.
I'm building my first Webflow site. Right?
Yeah.
For a rental property that we have. So like, and the whole thing has been like, who made this software? Right. It's like, I've only ever done Squarespace, so I'm learning a lot, but I have had advanced ChatGPT, advanced voice open while I'm developing. And if I run into an issue, I'll just tell it what I'm running into. And it like really within a step, it will guide me to the right spot.
Absolutely.
And it'll give me. So, but last night I just sat down. I was like, oh, let me work on this for a little bit. Jaden, my 5-year-old, was across the table. He was like just building with like some kinetic sand, like building these little sculpture things. And I just asked a question. He didn't know he didn't know what I was doing. Not that he would have cared. I had my phone open. Hadn't said anything. And I just said basically this: I'm building in Webflow with a Paradiso template, and I'm having a trouble having photos show up in the lightbox the same way they do on display. And then he looks up and he goes, "Are you talking to the robot?" That's literally what he said.
He knows.
And then he says, "Can I ask it a question?" And I was like, "No, not right now, buddy." But and he's not even beta. He's alpha.
Yeah. And they'll get it. It'll be like when we started, like, I remember when my 10-year-old, and it was like, wait, how did she know how to handle an iPhone and just swipe and resize and all that type of stuff? They will just naturally speak to
anything.
AI.
They're going to get frustrated when they talk to this water bottle and it doesn't know who was the 32nd president of the United States. Well, listen,
get him out of here.
Get
him out of here.
Can you hear the music?
I can't hear the music.
It's supposed to be. It says it's playing.
You know what I can do for you?
Hit me. There you go. Thank you so much. Listen, we are heading into 2025. Give us your predictions, actually. If you have some predictions you want us to share, send them to crew@asotu.com, and we'll share some on the show tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow.
Right.